guys and ghouls, welcome back to the Cozy Ghost. I'm your host, October, and welcome back to Hiveswap Friendsim. We finished up with... who did we finish up with last time? I don't remember anymore. We were on volume 6? Yeah, so we finished up volume 6 with these freaks. Love them. So let's head on to volume 7 of Business Flagrantly Illegal. Let's get ready. Ever since you were a kid back on Earth, you've always held the deep, close wish to one day travel the world. You wanted to see new places, experience exciting new tastes, altitudes, and temperatures, maybe go scuba diving. You never imagined you would actually get the chance. That kind of cool stuff didn't happen to someone like you. Well, you're finally getting your wish. It's just a totally different world. Funny how life turns out. When you get back to Earth, well, you don't want to think about that. Who knows if it'll ever even happen. You've really chilled out recently, found your place in the universe. Drifting from friend to friend, adventure to adventure. It's the only way to live. Connell or Remele? Connell or Remele? Well, she's cerulean. And she's green. She's higher up on the power tier. But I feel like she's more likely to kill me, which is crazy since, I don't know. I'm going to go with Remele. Namak. I don't know how to pronounce any of these names, so I apologize. You've wandered into a part of town that seems to have some culture going on. There are a lot of bright neon lights, and you can't read what the signs say, but you can see arcades, a performance space, and what looks like a movie theater, perhaps more indie-oriented compared to the mall cinemas you've seen before. As you continue wandering, you come across a trendy-looking building with a placard outside that shows a little cartoon doodle of a fancy waiter holding out a trays of snacks. You can't read what the words say, but you recognize the intergalactic signal for free food inside. Come on in. Oh, it's an art gallery. Oh, fuck, there are a lot of purple bloods here. Oh, I'm in danger. Almost immediately. That's not good. You head inside and it appears to be an art gallery. It must be opening night because there are festive decorations up and a little table offering drinks and hors d'oeuvres. Yeah, I know there's a lot of purple bloods and blue bloods here. This is a dangerous space for me to be in. I like the art though. The art's really pretty. There are many other art appreciators here, and your adrenaline spikes when you realize that most of the trolls milling around are purple bloods. You're not sure if some paintings and snacks are worth the high chances of being maimed when chaotic violence breaks out, but as you're baiting the merits of free food versus probable injury, someone approaches you. You don't look like my other patrons. Are you lost? Are you perhaps looking to start collecting? If you're loaded, ignore that first question. Art is for everyone, after all, regardless of your blood color. The florid black pupils in her eye glint and sparkle, and you're not sure yet if it's a menacing or friendly sparkle. She grins at you and shows all her teeth. So, what do you think of the art? Have any paintings caught your eye? You look around, but you don't know much about art. But you are a nerd, and a lot of the paintings in here remind you of scenes from popular movies and games back home. Let me save. Before I say something shitty. The artwork is stunning. Perhaps the best I've ever seen. Troll Mona Lisa, who? Stop, you flatterer. She puts a hand on her hip and winks at you. And you're guessing here that she doesn't actually want you to stop. You're also making the connection that she must be the artist who painted all of these. You sense an opportunity for friendship, so you lay it on thick and gush about how talented she is. I thought you looked like a dumbass when you walked in, but you have good taste after all. Whew. Let me show you around. You follow Ramil through the gallery, swinging by the table with the free food first. It's pretty good by the standards you've come to expect in Alternia, but what you thought was wine at first glance is actually Faygo. No thanks. What do you mean, no thanks? Faygo's delicious. You may have noticed some themes in my exhibited work. I don't love clowns or gore as much as it may seem. That's just what I have for sale here. If you look at my work online, you'll see more of the full range of my art. But for this fancy gallery shit, purple bloods are some of my best customers. Those clowns fucking love art. Then, they're rich as fuck, and they'll buy anything as long as it's violent enough or features religious themes. You've seen the kind of destruction and mayhem these purple bloods are capable of, so you're surprised that she doesn't seem to mind being in a crowded gallery with so many of them? Most other trolls you've interacted with have done their best to steer clear of the clown murder cult guys, at least when one of those hate romance relationships isn't on the table. Isn't that kind of dangerous to actively court them for her audience? Oh, sure, they can be unpredictable, and keeping them happy requires some schmoozing. Occasionally, I have to pretend like I've drunk the Fago and pull some religious references out of my ass. But it's nothing I can't handle. You can make a lot more money as an artist if you're not choosy about what you draw. One of my customers is this blue blood moron who only ever commissions me to draw low bloods in quadrants with other low bloods. I've got him convinced I'm giving him a deal on his rate when he's actually paying 5 times what I charge anyone else. My point is, artistic integrity is for chumps. If you want to get ahead in this world, give the people what they want first. That strikes you as a depressing outlook on the creative process, but you're aware by now that idealism on Alternia tends to lead to shorter lifespans. And you have to admit, looking at the crowd in this gallery, that her cynical approach seems to be working. You tell her that she sounds pretty business savvy in addition to talented. She winks at you again. Thanks, I know. 'Cause I make bank doing shit like this, I'm able to fund my passion projects. You should really check out my webcomic. But before you can find out what her webcomic is about, she notices another troll that has been sidling up to you. As she approaches, she whips out what looks like a small recording device with a smile. Ramil's face goes carefully blank, and she crosses her arms over her chest. And how can I help you? Yes, hello there, Miss Namak. I'm with Alternia Nightly, and I must say, it looks like your first ever gallery exhibit has been a smashing success so far. The journalist's syrupy tone and innocuous words don't seem threatening to you, but you're picking up some tense vibes from Ramil, whose hair ribbons swings forward in front of her face aggressively. Of course it's a success. I never expected otherwise. Maybe not, but some in the art would have expressed surprise at the timing of this. Some have called it bold, considering you're currently in the middle of a plagiarism controversy. Would you care to comment on the case against you by Trident Media? Instead of being caught off guard by the question sprung on her, Ramil relaxes and laughs. Oh, that. As if they have any kind of real evidence that I'm violating their precious intellectual property. All the characters I draw and profit from are entirely original, and Trident Media and their legislacerator are just mad about it because the whole internet knows that my storylines are better than the source material. Oh, I mean better than the unrelated creative works that my comics happen to be a superficial resemblance to. Feel free to quote me on that. The reporter takes the quote and scuttles away. Ramil seems unbothered, but you can't help but be concerned for her. Copyright infringement is serious business. Is your new friend in legal hot water? Nah, Alternia barely has any copyright protections to speak of. It's just that little pest Gorjek trying to stir up shit as usual. The company behind his lawsuit wouldn't even care if he hadn't gotten involved. It's no big deal, nothing I can't handle. You go back to following her around the gallery, keeping your distance whenever a pure purple blood comes up to compliment her on her work. You can tell that despite her confident attitude, Ramil is still thinking about that journalist. She taps her foot and frowns at the paintings whenever there's a lull in conversation, throwing glances at the door that the journalist left through. You know, it's not like Alternia has a free press or credible newspapers. That reporter was probably hired by someone with a grudge to dig up dirt on me. I don't think it was Gorjek, actually. Too obvious, amateurish. No, this stinks of my competition. The artistic establishment that thinks all I do is fan art and shouldn't be taken seriously as an artist. All of their paintings are in the museum across the street, and they hate that I've managed to put up my own exhibit. Those stuck-up, pretentious bulge scrubs have been trying to sabotage me for so long. She turns to you, her hands balled up into fists and the X in her eye flashing with passion. I've been waiting for the opportunity to strike back at them. If everyone is going to accuse me of being a thief and a hack anyway, I might as well steal from them for real. But the security is tight, and I haven't had an accomplice. Until now. What do you say? Want to help me put off a risky art heist? There are 3 options here! Oh, Lord. Fuck yes. Ramil does one last round in her exhibit, saying goodbye to her patrons and grabbing her bag, which seems to be mostly art supplies, as you head out the door and onto the street. The museum that she wants to rob is at the end of the block, in a much bigger, fancier building than the one you just walked out of. All the lights are off inside, and it doesn't have any signs advertising current exhibits. We can do this one of 2 ways. Follow the journalist and steal the keys if she has them, or break in without them. Jesus Christ. I have to save a lot, apparently. Let's bust down the door. A heist sounds risky enough without spending extra time trying to pickpocket some keys. You suggest that if this crime is going to happen tonight, it should happen now. No time like the present. Good point. Let's break into a museum. You scoot casually across the street to the museum on the corner. After seeing the kind of looks your unusual appearance draws from passerby, Ramil takes some fabric from her bag and wraps it around your head. There, now people will probably just assume that you have horns. You're just embarrassed by them being tiny or malformed. Don't get into that alcove shielding the museum's back door and wait for me. I'm gonna circle the block first, just so we seem less suspicious. As you wait for Ramil by the door, the reality of this caper settles in. You've been excited about the heist at first, because who wouldn't be excited by the opportunity to sneak around, steal some art, and stick it to the man? Probably while a snazzy soundtrack played. But now you realize that in heist movies, they always have blueprints for the place that they're gonna rob, and you have no blueprints. Seems like a dire sign. Before you can get too swept up in your worries, Ramil returns. Does she have any idea how to get into this place? Because this door looks pretty unbust-downable to you. Yeah, I've got some tricks up my sleeve. I've never done this before, but it'll probably work. She roots through her bag until she comes out with several paintbrushes of varying size, then crouches down and uses the skinniest one as a lockpick. It doesn't work, but she selects a different paintbrush with different bristles, and using some of the bristles bunched together, and the lock clinks open. I'm great at this, but I could be an incredible thief if I decided to do that instead of art. Do you ever take the time to just sit back and acknowledge how great you are at everything you try to do and how much you trust yourself to never fuck up when it counts? You hope that the question is rhetorical because your honor answer to that is no. You don't have a whole lot of experience acknowledging how great you are at everything you attempt. Your mental acknowledgements lately have mostly been the opposite of that. Maybe it wasn't rhetorical because Ramil stays crouched down like that for a second, looking at you while she wants an answer. You eventually come up with an awkward shrug as she stands up, puts away her makeshift lockpick, dusting off her hands and opening up the door. I guess not everyone can be at my confidence level. Anyways, let's go. Oh, hello. You follow her inside. Much to your delight, you see that the museum has infrared laser beam alarm system. It looks just so cool, just like in the movies, and you're back to being excited. Ramil seems into it too, bouncing on the balls of her feet next to you. Interesting, very interesting. One of us is going to have to get through the beams to disable the alarm. The box to do it is across the room there, see? But the lasers are so close together. Ramil isn't that tall for a troll, but she might be too tall to maneuver through these beams. Even if she bends over, it's going to be tricky for her to squirm through them all without losing her balance and tripping the alarm. But the trolls who designed this alarm system didn't have your hornless ass in mind when they thought of potential intruders. You stoop over a bit to see if you'll fit, and sure enough, yeah, you should be able to shimmy your way through these beams with minimal contortion. Fuck yeah! I knew I was right to bring an accomplice. Great thinking, me. And great heist skills, you, if you pull this off. You recall what she said about confidence and trusting yourself not to fuck things up, and assure her that you've got this. You face the laser beams with your self-doubt shoved all the way down, and where it hopefully won't screw anything up for you. You take a deep breath and crouch down carefully. So carefully, and inch your way forward between the wires. It's the slowest you've ever crossed a room in your life, and there are a couple of moments when you teeter and almost lose your balance. You can hear Ramil hissing through her teeth behind you at tense moments, but you press on without looking back. And then you've done it! You've reached the box to disable the alarm system, and you have no idea how you're going to do that. All the buttons are labeled in an alien alphabet. Crap. Oh, that's right, I forgot you can't read. Press the one that looks like a meat hook, but with angry eyes, and then press the one that looks like a meat hook, but it's got Purby's claws. That should do it. That sounds bonkers to you, but you look back at the buttons, and her descriptions of the letters are actually pretty spot on. You press the angry eyes and the cat claws, and the whole alarm system makes a soft shuddering noise and clicks and shuts off. You're thrilled. You did it. Who knew that doing something right could give you such a rush? This is just like the part of the heist where the heroes had to sweat for a minute, but then defeated the unforeseen wrench in their plan. You're certain there couldn't possibly be any larger wrenches in your plan still to come. Ramil crosses the room to join you, giving you an appraising look with her hands on her hips. Not bad. Thanks for coming through for me like that. Now let's get what we came here for. There's one work in particular that I'm here to get. You follow her through the different galleries, passing through sculpture rooms and oil paintings until you reach a display of pieces that look inspired by pop culture. The painting and prints in here remind you a lot of Ramil's exhibit, and when you look at her, you can see that she's rigid, her eyes flashing, and a passionate blue tint to her cheeks. I can't believe they call me the hack! Such bullshit! Whatever. It's cool. It actually doesn't bother me. I just need to send the message that they don't want to fuck with me. This painting right here is a direct rip-off of one of my early works. Back when I was naive enough to put up my art for free without realizing it would just get copied and someone else would get all the credit and the profit. Well, I learned my lesson. I'll take this so they can't sell it, rip off their rip-off, make something even better, and turn it over for a truckload of cash. She grabs the painting, and just when the two of you are ready to heist roll out of there, you hear the voices at the back door and what sounds like a team of security guards coming in. They must have arrived to investigate the alarm system shutting down. You're ready to embrace your panic, but you stop hyperventilating when you feel Vermeil's vice-like grip clawed on your arm. Don't freak out. Follow my lead and we can still get out of this. You assume that the whole heist is off now that the security has shown up, but to your surprise, Vermeil doesn't put the stolen painting back on the wall. She gives your arm one last reassuring squeeze before sauntering out of the room with her head held high, moseying with no hurry towards the front door. You follow her nonchalant lead as best you can. When one of the security guards stops her, Vermeil gives him a condescending, slightly confused look. What are you even doing here? My assistant told me she informed all the staff that I'd be swinging by today to pick this up. Did you miss that memo? Give me a break. I'm sure it must be easy to miss things, right? Because as a security guard, you probably get so much important correspondence every day. Her four pupils somehow give her sneering eye roll extra sarcastic force. She yawns and with her free hand not holding the painting, flicks some non-existent dirt off her shirt. The security troll, of burgundy blood judging from the sign on his cop hat, looks uncertain and embarrassed. But I get it, I understand. Crossed wires. Since you're apparently too busy to do your job right, I'll catch you up to speed. I'm the artist behind this piece, and I've got a wealthy patron interested in commissioning something similar. I'm taking this as a reference in order to negotiate a better deal. There's absolutely no way these guys will buy her story. The two of you look so guilty, and you still have her yellow sash wrapped around your head, probably looking like an idiot with a head injury. But Vermeil is staring down this guard like it hasn't even occurred to her that she might be questioned. You've never seen someone double down so hard on a story that is such transparent bullshit. If you want to waste more of my time and yours by calling your superior to verify, go ahead. He might not be thrilled that this mix-up happened because you can't keep up with your emails, though. The security troll was already wavering, and at the mention of his emails, he cringes. His co-workers behind him shuffle around muttering to each other. He steps back, horns lowered in embarrassment, and waves you and Vermeil through with a mumbled apology. You can't believe this is happening, but the two of you swagger out to the street through the front door, legitimate as anything. You don't stop until you've turned the corner to the next block, and then Vermeil leans against the wall and laughs, holding her painting close to her chest. Suckers. Feels good to get away with things, doesn't it? It does feel good, you suppose. Mostly you think you're still reeling. How did she come up with a story like that on the fly? How did she guess correctly that the security guard wasn't some hyper-organized inbox zero kind of guy who'd never believed that he could have missed a message? Vermeil gives you an odd look, reaches forward to unwind her sash from around your head and stuff it in her bag. I just winged it, man. You overthink things. My guesses are usually right, because I'm a creative genius, but going after him for emails hadn't worked. I guess we'd have been arrested, and then I'd talk my way out of that eventually, too. Wow, you find it hard to believe that she goes through life so easily with that kind of unshakable belief that she can improvise through everything. Doesn't she worry that it'll catch up with her someday? You want the long answer? It's this. Nope, I super don't. And if you still don't get it, I don't know if it's the kind of thing you can really learn. She picks up the painting again, looking down the street and away from you. Well, that was a successful heist. Not that I've ruined the competition. I feel inspired. I'm gonna take this home and paint. Wait, hang on. With a sinking feeling, you realize that she's getting ready to depart and that this friendship might be slipping through your fingers. Sorry, kid. You seem like you're not totally useless, at least, but I'm not one for long-term artistic collaboration. It's a lot easier to talk your way out of tight spots when you're on your own. Peace. You watch her go, your shoulders sagging with disappointment. You guys stole from a museum together, escaped together, and bamboozled the cops together. You should have bonded over your shared transgressions and culpability. Every crime movie you've ever seen has taught you that heists bring people closer together, but cultural differences? Girl, what? Huh? Man. Fine. I see how it is. We don't have to be friends then. We don't have to be friends. It's cool. I'm chill. I'm not chill. I'm upset. Fine. Go your way. Anyway, I think I am going to end this episode here. So, Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe, do all of the things that you can do to help make this channel thrive. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!